I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and I have to use the name Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers. I was kidnapped in 41 at age 2 and brought to Moulton, Alabama. Given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey, as I say, I married a Childers. And the reason I'm doing this video today, I wanted to show this though. Larry Flint was shot. I was doing a book in Marietta, Georgia, 76 till April Fool Day when they filled me full of antifreeze and I should have died. It was a miracle I survived, and I was illegally taken across the state line back to Huntsville, Alabama by this woman that killed her twins. And I was told that I was her daughter, the twin that was dead. Both of them were dead. She killed them both. This family covered it up. Now then, I worked for the district attorney, Simpson, there, and I lived at Warren House Apartments. You get into crypt, I didn't know or couldn't remember at the time about my kidnapping. I was told by the Brits and Germans, 1983. So at the time, it didn't mean that much to me, as I worked for the district attorneys of Huntsville, Madison County, Fred Simpson. Simpson as Wallace Simpson married an imposter, a double, and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Illegal title. Helped steal the crown from my father. It was a plot to take him down, and they did. Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, March the 6th of 78 while I was doing the book. It was MD license to kill, if I didn't say that. I've been to where I've had to inhale toxic fumes so bad that it's really gotten to me where I'm living, so I'm going to have to move again. That's the only cure for it if they don't fix it, and they won't, because this is deliberate. I have an immune disorder, and when I'm around toxic fumes, it triggers my immune system to attack itself, and I become so weak I can't fight off other things. I should have lived a normal life, and this has been deliberately done over the years, and it's political, and it's I can't get an attorney, so I'll leave it at that. But Larry Flint was shot. He flew me out there during a campaign in 83 to replace Congressman Dr. Larry McDonald from Atlanta, who I had written about in the book. And here I am in the race, but I didn't win it. So I wanted to go to here. I found out in 83 that my mom is Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, and she's was married to my father, Edward VIII. Here I am in 1939 while I'm born, and this is Uncle George, the illegal George VI, Elizabeth's father, planning my kidnapping with Roosevelt. He's a Jew. And this is not the Queen Mom, but that's who they have her down as, Elizabeth's mother. And she was kin to the Rothschilds that helped kidnap me. The Kennedy had been appointed ambassador 1936 till 46. They kicked him out. He and his sons, JFK, and the older one, Joe, they were flying in and out of the embassy in England a couple of years before and after my kidnapping. I was dropped off at Moulton, Alabama, and this is use a word if you don't know what gussied up is. It doesn't look like them at all. They were dressed up, and you can't see the shack over here, and they did not have a car. It was a pigsty. That's all you can call it. It was abuse after abuse they did. My dad was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, sister to artist George O'Keefe, and excuse me if I'm being redundant here. I'm not feeling well at all. It's taken its toll on me. And what I wanted to get into right at the moment is I wrote about mind control murders. Larry Flint was one of them that was done in patterns. It's mind control is hard to prove, like I say, invisible. So these were done in patterns. I had a letter from the FBI June the 23rd of 79. June 23rd, by the way, is my father's birthday. And 79 is when I got the letter from the U.S. Attorney, national security involved, ongoing investigation. Well, if the truth is told, I'm looking at myself here, I look bad. I really aged in the last month from all the fumes. But anyway, national security involved means if you tell the whole truth about what's been done and being done to me and my family and country, I can guarantee you it does not look good or say anything good for the United States and part of my own family, all right? So the illegal treaties that were signed, I was Victoria II, the first breath I took. My father wasn't even married to that spy. That's a double and a title that's illegal. But they got away with it all. And all those antics he did were blamed on my dad, which is not my dad. Anyway, my dad had an addendum. Isn't it odd? The year the Kennedy was ambassador, 1936, kicked out in 46, just in time to help take down my dad and spread all the lies and kidnap me. There was an addendum to my dad's forced abdication, and it stated, and it went through channels, proper channels, and the court system, that if he had an heir, it would not disinherit the heir. And I was born in 39, and the minute I was born, I'm Victoria II. And my father would have been brought back in, and because he would be my guardian and power of attorney. Now then, I don't know what happened in the time that I was born and kidnapped. I do know that this man, my uncle, illegal, they're war criminals. This is 1939, it says that, but this is, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll show it, and then I'm going to say one of the reasons I'm making this. Yeah, 1939, I think you can see it. And I guess I'm showing my bathroom because I'm sitting in here, I'm so sick. But the other thing I want to say was Hillary Clinton would have known everybody back to my kidnapping. John Sparkman, the U.S. Senator, knew about my kidnapping. How many people didn't? Oliver Jones did, or Bob Jones. Now, I'm not sure Bob Jones, congressman, was the bad guy, but all the rest of them have been that have gotten hostage money, continued, and the life I've led and what's been done to my sons, Mark and Scott, is so horrendous. And the pain and suffering. And look at Great Britain. It's the treaties, illegal treaties that were signed after my kidnapping, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedy, my own family. And there has been a media blackout on me. And that's because the media is controlled by the very people that kidnapped me, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, and they sit over the war tribunal in the Netherlands. So, barring some overthrow of everything and a court that's justice, it's not going to happen unless God comes back and does it. So here's what I wanted to put up so I don't try to put up another video and it won't go because I've overrun my time here on it. Hillary being Secretary of State also, you should see what Kissinger, he was Secretary of State, Secretary of the Army under Nixon. He I put it up here, you should see what he tried to do to me if the Brits didn't come through with the money or whatever the amount was or whatever it was to appease them and keep me alive and not lobotomize me. So all these people over and over have known through the years and hid it. And Hillary Clinton knew before when she was president's wife, she would have had to know. But as Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, she certainly would have. So I fail to see where she cares about women. cares about anything but herself, and she's part of the New World Order that I'm speaking of, the Illuminati, the global that's in now, and they use the United Nations as their arm to do it. So what I meant to say, and I'm not feeling good, obviously, because of being made a pauper. I get phone calls that say debt collector, and I thought, God, I can't even say my name. You stole the money you stole from me, and the torture that you've left me with, what I should be able to sue here, I can't. And you are calling, saying you're a debt collector. They're usually for medical, because I can't pay all of that. I barely get enough. I don't even have enough to eat most of the time. I don't. And clothes, no. And made to move around. Now then, if I have time on here, I'm going to go to Charlottesville, where I heard what is that? The Gold Key family that Trump said something about, and now they've made it a media event, and he can get up and his wife and shake, I don't know what it is, in the media's face, and they love it. And Hillary she's getting a kick out of that. I bet you he's got a nice home, him and his wife. And you know what happened to me? And this is over and over in Charlottesville, Virginia. I had years ago, I crawled, I begged, I stayed at the Salvation Army, where you're kicked out. You have to crawl up on beds up there when you can. You go out and look for jobs. That mine were blocked. I wasn't allowed to speak of it. So this happened over and over. I'm walking the streets and begging and freezing, etc. And I'm not going to go into all the rest of it that happened there in Charlottesville to me. This man, how dare him? My money came in here. First of all, it was stolen from the Brits, the whole thing. Then they steal the Monarch and me. And I want to say this before I go. This was a guy that knew about me, and he was in the Vietnam War. And I didn't know at that time, this is years ago, back in 80. He come up to me and he said, well, if we ever give it back, we'll give it back to the Indians. We certainly won't give it back to you. And I thought, what are you talking about? And then I find out I'm British. I'm the head of state. I'm the monarch. Look what they've done to me in Great Britain. They've held them hostage too. And all the while, years ago, giving to the Irish Republican Army, who do you think financed the bombs and everything they had to go in and blow up Great Britain and take everything we had? They got a Area 51 in Australia, and underneath the UK, they have one of the biggest army bases or air bases there are, so you can go on from there.